Okay, guys, it's a very important day and a very important week in RuneScape 3 history right now because the MTX experiment that they led a little while ago have been concluded and the data has been analyzed, and we'll have a little look about exactly what's going on. If you want to read this, I'll leave the link in the description. We're kind of going to mostly go over the statistics in this one, but if you want to read the stuff they've talked about extra, then you can go and do that. But essentially, here we go. Experiment 1. This is where Treasure Hunter was removed for a little while. I think it was just a week. But they got some survey results. And apparently, 65% of players felt positive or neutral about Treasure Hunter removal, and 35% felt negative, which is more than I thought, to be honest. But we'll carry on. And then 54% of players expressed a desire to retain some form of progression supporting MTX options. That is quite a large amount as well. So it's kind of interesting. And then if Treasure Hunter was removed, 54% of players were more likely to recommend RuneScape. 20% had no change in likelihood to recommend. And then, strangely enough, 25% were less likely to recommend if Treasure Hunter was removed, which that's a very shocking statistic. But either way, let's talk about that for a little bit. But yeah, Treasure Hunter, it is a bit of a stain on the game. I'm sure we're all aware. It's very easy in the moment to be like, "Oh, free stuff! I like free stuff. Let's have more free stuff." And it's very easy to think about that and enjoy it, but forget about the bigger picture in that, like, the health of the game. Like, this doesn't help anyone in the grand scheme of things. Like, every item, every XP gained from Treasure Hunter is an XP or an item that you then don't have to use in the game economy. Like, if you get a protein plank, for example, then all of a sudden that's now a mahogany plank that you don't have to use. So now there's a mahogany plank sitting in limbo, and obviously there's not just one plank, it's really thousands or tens of thousands or even millions of skilling items that are not being used because of stuff like this. So that's one thing to very much bear in mind. And overall, 76% felt that the changes that they did there showed that RuneScape is headed in a positive direction. That's actually a very, very good sign. And 79% did not feel that the MTX experiment changes made the game more of a grind, which again, very good sign. And only 26% felt the game was apparently less fair without access to Treasure Hunter. So less fair is an interesting phrase there. It's a very interesting phrase. Like, it feels like people have almost got a warped perspective on both themselves and others when it comes to stuff like this. Because, I mean, without Treasure Hunter, surely everyone is then completely fair. No? But I think a lot of people, well, 26% of people might have accounted less fair to essentially mean I am weaker than my friend. Like, my friend can play 4 hours a day, I can only play 2.5 hours per day. But thanks to Treasure Hunter, it's like I was playing 6 hours a day, so it's fine. Like the boost I got from that made everything more fair. But really, that's not what it is at all. So, yeah, that's a very scary statistic. And also kind of shows the amount of people that have just learned to put up with Treasure Hunter possibly a bit too much. I mean, and I guess not just put up, but relied on, it seems as well, which is very, very frightening. And then next up, we had the Cosmetic free worlds that came out, if you guys remember those. And in this case, apparently 63% of players who answered the survey feel the current cosmetics break their immersion. Shadow Drakes, anyone? And then 59% want to see less flashy visuals, and 84% who answered want some form of cosmetic toggle. And these results are very telling, aren't they? Like, cosmetics, like a lot of people often say, oh, it's only cosmetic, it doesn't matter. It's only cosmetic, it's not a problem. But really, this shows that it is a problem. Like, I think RuneScape has kind of lost its identity kind of a long time ago, really. Like you look at a screenshot of a character in game and you're like, is this RuneScape? Like, is that what it means? Whereas, like, on the flip side, you look at old school, you see some Giga Chad in full rune and a Dragon Simi, you're like, hell yeah, that's what RuneScape means. But on the RS3 side, we don't really have that anymore. Like, it's just been lost. And one thing that I would very much encourage you to bear in mind is that the more cosmetics that exist, the less people are aware of what cosmetics come from purchases and which cosmetics come from in-game achievements. Like, you know, for example, I've got the Devoured title on my RuneScape character, like, and that's for doing one of the hardest combat achievements in the game. But, like, how many people are aware of that, you know? Like not that I'm like wearing it to show off or anything, but it's just as an example. Like, there are a lot of titles that are really cool and have some sentimental value. You know, like this took a lot to overcome. I'm gonna wear this title as a result. But a lot of people will just look at that title and be like, huh, maybe that was from, you know, just some kind of like MTX event at some point. Like it dilutes the pool so much that you don't know what is cool and what isn't, and I think that's really sad and something that should definitely be looked into personally. And then we have the double XP down here with the limited MTX items, and over 80% of people responding to the survey changed their skills, methods, or playtime in the double XP due to the experiment. Whether that's a positive thing or a negative thing, it's quite hard to say, especially when it comes to playtime. But the changing skills or methods is really cool, because I don't know if you guys remember, but like going to Fort Ferent 3 on that double XP, like it was no longer just infested with dummies. And like dummies and proteins and all sorts, it was gone. Like people were actually playing the game, which is really what you want. Like that's awesome. So I'm really glad that there's such a large amount of people that, you know, change their skills or their methods here. That's honestly awesome, because there is a lot of game to game. Like there is more game than just AFKing next to a portable. So I'm really happy to see that. And the top reason was players like the event. So the top reason that players liked the event was reconnecting them to core gameplay. Exactly. Yeah. There's so much game to play, and that is amazing. The most missed items were portables, which honestly should be a default in the Fort Ferent 3. Like, upgrade to tier 3, boom, you get portable benefit. Like, why is that not a thing? Oh, it makes me angry. And then Silverhawks, that is a bit of a giggle. But, you know, agility, like, I think it's kind of like global, like both RS3 and old school. Nobody really wants to train agility, let's be honest. So honestly, I do kind of wonder if maybe we should just like get rid of Silverhawks completely. But what if just running around gave you a little bit of agility XP? Like nothing compared to like an actual agility course, but like if you could just like do your usual activities and like eventually get your levels up just by running around, like I think that would actually be quite a solid middle ground. Because like it makes sense as well, right? Like you're running, you're gaining stamina, like you should be training your agility that way. Like I think that could work. Like numbers to be tweaked, of course, but I think there's something there. And then apparently 54% of players said enjoyment of double XP decreased due to the experiment. So that is a little bit concerning in some ways, but also kind of good in other ways. Because if this makes people enjoy double XP less, maybe that in turn makes them enjoy the rest of the game more. Because like double XPs, they are very much too often nowadays. I think people get a little bit tired of them in a way as well. And you know, it's definitely something to bear in mind, that maybe it is time to phase out double XP as well. I don't think that'll be an easy pill for a lot of people to swallow, but it honestly might be for the best. And then apparently 65% of players who take regular breaks said double XP is an important moment to make gains when they can't often make time to play. I mean, yeah, that definitely makes sense. You know, if someone has less time to play, maybe they can do stuff, you know, they've got their IRL tasks before double XP starts, and then as a result, any time that they do play on double XP is essentially, well, it's doubled. You're getting twice your value, of course. That does in turn make a little bit of FOMO, of course, like fear of missing out on the double XP gains, which can lead to some unhealthy behavior. But, you know, are double XP is good for the game? It's hard to say, because they definitely boost the numbers of the game, but I'd also be inclined to say that they also burn people out by the end of it as well. So it's like a short-term gain for people fizzling out afterwards. So it's a really tough call whether double XP should exist. Obviously, old school doesn't have double XP, and they are doing just fine. And obviously, no signs of double XP coming ever as well. And then down here we have the Cosmetic Mega Drop, which apparently wasn't all that mega. But I don't know about you guys, I participated in this. Like, I bought some bonds from the GE and got some rune coins on my Iron Man to get some combat cosmetics that I otherwise couldn't have got before. So I was quite happy with this one. This was pretty cool. And apparently 76% of people preferred the marketplace in this form over Treasure Hunter. That is very, very promising. That is 3/4 of people would rather have a marketplace than Treasure Hunter. That is fantastic news. And 68% said that the larger selection to choose from increased their interest in cosmetics. Yep, if you got lots of stuff to buy, you're like, ooh, I can have a bit of this and a bit of that. Lovely. And the same themes from the Cosmetic Free Worlds, where players want us to lean even more into a visual style that feels part of the world and avoids disrupting immersion. So you got your fantasy, medieval, your dark and gothic, and like lore cosmetics are the most favoured visual styles. And about half the people want us to focus more on immersive lore or retro themed cosmetics. And then 44% of people said they avoid buying cosmetics perceived as low effort or unoriginal, with 36% avoiding purchases that feel out of place within RuneScape. So this is all, I would say, like, pretty standard and expected. These are the big ones, though. Like, preferring Marketplace over Treasure Hunter is very, very good. We like that. Like, direct purchases, like, if purchases have to exist, which, you know, unfortunately, they probably do, like, a Marketplace is just a much healthier way of doing that, and I really like that. And what we're going to find out is on October the 29th, so a couple of days' time, so not long at all, we're finding out what is going to happen, what their decisions are going to be regarding the future of the game. And I have a theory. I do, guys. I have a theory. It's theory time. I think on October the 29th, they are going to announce the removal of Treasure Hunter. Like, that's kind of what I got from this blog. And the reasons are as follows. I think first and foremost, RuneScape 3 is not the healthiest it's ever been in terms of player count. Like, people are playing, but in terms of, you know, its place in the mainstream, it doesn't really have a particularly big one. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to announce that Treasure Hunter is being removed in order to win a significant amount of brownie points, both with the player base and also to kind of act as a shocking news source, which then news sites will pick up, and then it will spread around the internet and like word of mouth and everything, and then that word will get to people who either haven't played in a while or, you know, quit because of MTX related things, or perhaps it will get new people in, be like, oh wow, this Jagex company, they've got a game where they've removed their loot boxes. Wait, that's really cool. Like, so many games have loot boxes nowadays, and this one now doesn't. Let's go check it out and see what's up. Like, I think they want to do that and get a lot of brownie points to get people either in or back in. And I think they're going to be willing to take a short-term loss in terms of money, because as we know, Treasure Hunter generates an absolutely disgusting amount of money. So I think they are wanting to sacrifice that temporarily in order to increase the amount of players, which therefore gives them more money in a healthier way. So it's sacrificing short-term greed for long-term prosperity, and yeah, I'm largely convinced that they're going to do something like that. And I think as well, this, like, the 3/4 prefer Marketplace over Treasure Hunter, like, that is the thing to appeal to. Like, I'm pretty sure we're all aware that, like, there's always going to be some form of MTX, and I don't think there's going to be any escape from that, unfortunately. But I can very much see Treasure Hunter disappearing and then a Marketplace appearing. Like, they can have their seasonal items, you know, hey, it's Halloween soon, let's have the Halloween cosmetics. And then, hey, it's Christmas soon, let's have the Christmas cosmetics. They can, like, rotate in and out. And then, in the meantime, you've just got, like, your standard shop of just, well, everything else, basically. So, I'm very much expecting treasure hunter removal, marketplace booming, essentially. I think the marketplace is going to take over a little bit. Hopefully that happens in a healthy way, if it is to happen at all. Obviously, they are going to want to get money from somewhere, and you know the marketplace could be that place, and you know it's like lesser of two evils, but at the very least there is no gambling involved in a marketplace. You know exactly what you're getting for your money, and that is a much healthier way of doing things compared to open this chest and maybe you'll get what you want, or maybe you won't. Haha, who knows? Let's see. So yeah, I'm expecting treasure hunter removal, marketplace coming in, and I think they're hoping it's gonna just make shockwaves around the entire gaming industry and get some eyes on RS3 and just the company as a whole and be like, look how good we are. Wow, players are so happy now. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think I am correct? Do you think Treasure Hunter is going to be disappearing? Because honestly, I do. I do. I think this 2025, I think this is the final year of Treasure Hunter. I think it is disappearing. Because they've said before they want to make big, tough decisions. I think the new CEO said that. And I think this will be the big decision they're going to make. So yeah, let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed the little ramble. But yeah, tune in again in a couple of days and we shall find out exactly what is going on. And hopefully your boy Wazzy here will be right. Doodles.